So do you have any numbers on, and I didn't warn you that I might ask you
No,
about
it's fine. I have numbers. Absolutely.
numbers. Any
Sure.
numbers on how common social anxiety is?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's quite common. So the everyday way of saying socially anxious is to say shy. That's how our we talk about it in just kind of everyday life, not clinical language. And so if
Yeah,
you ask people if they're shy, 40% of people will say yes, which already is a lot of people. That's almost half. However, if you change that question and say, have you ever been shy? Were you shy as a child? Were you awkward as a teenager? 80% of people will say yes. So that's the vast majority of people who can relate somehow to feeling shy or socially anxious. Now, if we draw a line where it crosses over into a disorder, that is to say, where it becomes distressing or impairing, then 13% of individuals at some point in their life will qualify as having social anxiety disorder, which I differentiate in the book as, I call it capital S social anxiety. And so, 13% is a lot of people. That's more than 1 in 10. And so while everybody can relate, everybody has their insecurities, there are 13% of us for whom social anxiety does get in the way of living life. However, no matter where you fall on the continuum, I have good news. There is hope, and there are some really great ways to stop, letting fear get the best of us. To build confidence and to be who you are without fear, which is what I call your true self. And we can talk about the different ways to
sure.
do that.
We'll get into that. One
Yeah.
of the things I'm struck by, though, is you said if you ask people if they have ever suffered from, implies that maybe a substantial number of people just grow out of it.
That's true. Well, I mean, because all anxieties are maintained by avoidance, by either overt avoidance. So, in the case of social anxiety, not showing up, staying home, turning down the invitation, not returning the text or the email. But avoidance can also be covert. So showing up, but let's take the example of a party. So showing up, but spending all our time in the corner scrolling through our phone, or just kind of hovering by the buffet, mainlining chips and salsa, or petting the
Ouch.
host's cat. So,
This is
yeah.
hitting
And so so avoidance maintains anxiety. If we have a genetic tendency to be anxious, then avoidance is the miracle grow for that genetic tendency to turn into
Going back to the party, I think one of the
anxiety.
examples you gave in the book was petting the dog.
Yes,
If there's a
right,
dog
right,
there, and
absolutely.
I certainly identify with that, or
Oh,
talking to a
sure, I've
small
done that.
child, and
Uh huh.
being able, feeling comfortable, with the child.